Okay, I'm back. Right, I'm going to go in a bit now. So we've made all of our links. Right, so a lot of links to the I Ching, and I'm showing this process of why this is linked this way. So we got 16, 17, 18, and 19. So I think I explained this of that's the process that we go into. But we also link to that, and there's a few things that I can pull out on this now. We also link it. We're also linking to that hexagram 44 and hexagram 47, and in that is 45 and 46. Yeah, so we go 44, 45, 46, and 47. So that's 44 coming to meet, 45 gathering together. We're going to link that gathering together to Surah 45 kneeling in the Quran, because obviously gathering together, massing, religious, obviously grouping, kneeling, praying. So we can see them two 45s match and link up. Then we go 46, pushing upward. And then we go to 47, oppression, exhaustion. All of the numbers link from when we look at the outcome numbers, see all the lines, all of the numbers link, all of the number patterns, mathematically correct. I embody all of that, because, and then we're going to link this as well through this. There's a statement here which is correct, and this shows how old the I Ching is and the cycle. So I'm just going to read 44 coming to me on page 170. So that's our 17 that's in there. This hexagram indicates a situation in which the principle of darkness, after having been eliminated furtively and unexpectedly, obtrudes again from within and below. Of its own accord, the female principle comes to meet the male. It is an unfavourable and dangerous situation, and we must understand and promptly prevent the possible consequences. The hexagram is linked with the fifth month, yeah, June, July, yeah, because at the summer solstice, the principles of darkness gradually become ascendant again. So we've got to completely flip that. So we completely flip it. It says from June, July. Well, we know it's July. That would be July, August. We know July, August were not there in the original calendar because it was a 10-month calendar. So we link October now as the 8th month, which puts it in line with July, August. That's really the 10th month. So this is a 10-month cycle, which has been expanded to a 12-month cycle. But then it flips obviously from summer solstice to autumn equinox, moving towards winter solstice, because we're the exact opposite flip of them in it. They're the east, we're the west. So the whole of this flips every 6 months in it. You know what I mean? So this is this is what it means, the inverse and opposite. So that's an actual now in the reality. That's the inverse and opposite, because over there they'll be going into summer, we're going into winter. Do you know what I mean? So then it flips. When we're going into summer, they're going into winter. So this coming to me is correct at this time. Do you know what I mean? Because we know that, yeah, it's this is how far back it goes. So I hope that clears that up, because the 8th August is really October. It's not, you know what I mean, because obviously it's been expanded. But originally, August, obviously, Ocular 8 is the 8th month, you know what I mean? So that's why that connects in there, because that's a 10-month cycle. So there we go, coming to meet. And this is, again, this process is reversed, because she's not coming to meet at this time. She's withdrawing. She is the magnetic principle that has now gone into decrease, because we're going into autumn. This is why this reference is the summer solstice, because this is the opposite of that effect when we're going into summer. You know what I mean? When it starts to heat up and everything's electric and that, and everything's growing. So this is the opposite of that because we're on this side. Yeah, so it's coming to meet, and then obviously that can be read, and then gathering together. Yeah, again, there's celebrations that obviously we're going to be that people do at this time of the year. Gathering together is always at play because this relates to kneeling as well, and our recognition of other aspects of the reality for gathering together and worship. So that's all good. Then we've got, so read 45. So we go all the way through. Again, all of the numbers link, the 177, the 178, 176, we've got them all here. It's all in this, and this is all like kind of mainly I Ching. So then we've got pushing upward, which is hexagram 56. Again, in the inverse, pushing downwards, you know what I mean? Withdrawing, because we're not in the summer season, we're in the winter season. So this is a natural process of the earth anyway. It's naturally going into now receding instead of pushing upward. So we can read this, but it, again, as the sound of tarot, take what take what resonates. Do you know what I mean? Leave the rest behind. But this is not a case of that because this is what's happening in the reality. This is actually what happens with nature. Do you know what I mean? It pushes upwards and then it recedes. So you're in this regardless whether you believe it or not. That's what's happening around you. So we do pushing upward, and then we read to oppression, and then oppression, exhaustion. Yeah, we'll do exhaustion in a, not as in a sense, in a sense of like, yeah, we're going into winter now, we're in autumn. So the energies of the earth have exhausted themselves. You know what I mean? Bears go into hibernation, everything's now going into lockdown. So this is exhaustion of the electromagnetic spectrum boosting up. Now it's going into withdrawals, you know what I mean? Because of the cycle, do you know what I mean? And this is a process that takes place within as well. So we're linking all of them hexagrams as a process outer linked to the inner process, which we showed earlier, is this enthusiasm, approach, following and working on what has been spoiled, because that's an inner process. You know what I mean? You approach your with enthusiasm, your inner work, following the path of your inner work on what has been spoiled. You know what I mean? So that's a process. And then what I like, and then this is the outer process, showing you in the reality that this is what you're doing inner, because you're in oppression. You know what I mean? You're going into those things that are inside of you that are exhausted, old ways of thinking, old ways of being, old ways of understanding things, in order to work on them, to work on what has been spoiled, to correct them for you to move forward in it. Yeah, so that's good. And then what I liked about the connection to the Quran is, I say, really, this is really good. And it's Surah 41. Surah 41, and starts on page 418, and there's our 418. Yeah, presented in detail. I say this work is presented in detail. It's presented in mathematical detail. Like, you can run all the numbers, check all the numbers fit and work to the book of where you go read from to the end on page 424. There's no two in this outcome. So there's no number 2 inside the box. There's no number 2 outside the box in any of the outcome numbers. So this is a metaphor 2 in it. It's not a number 2. It's a 2 4s. Well, there are 2 4s in the outcome. Do you know what I mean? And we've got our 148 to 424, but there's no 2, but there are 2 4s. So this shows how the word and the number are the same and different at different times. Do you know what I mean? So Do you know what I mean? It's the numerical two, and then it's seeing by two. Do you know what I mean? There's two fours, so 424. Considering we've got the 148 as the opening number, and we've got the 41 as the Surah number, and there's two fours by sight, not by number, because there's no two on any of this lay. Do you know what I mean? In any of the inside numbers or outside numbers. So we can say it's that two by the absence of that two being there. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not there. But it is there because you can actually say, like, there's two there. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit mad, but, like, that's how it is. And so we're happy. We're happy that is the link. And the presented in detail is to do work and show the links that the math is detailed. Do you know what I mean? The math, you can do the math and the math works and you can follow it. Do you know what I mean? Once it's pointed out, you can see it. Like, all the numbers are there. They're there. So that is presented in detail, and that is what stands at the centre of both of these two. So we've got literally 4 on one side and 4 on the other side for you to do the inner work and to recognise the outer work that you can see in the reality within the cycle, and we balance it. You know what I mean? We're balancing it. Again, we come back to that two pentacles. So that for me is a really shows this is showing the process. You know what I mean? Because this is a process in it. Do you know what I mean? And like I said earlier, of you always going back to what you feel you've messed up on, if something you've been in a situation you work out. So you go back to that and you want to work on it to see if you can correct it and see if you can make it better. Sometimes you have to just leave events that played out as they've played out. Other times you hopefully get the opportunity to go back and look at something again and see if you can do it better. So that is that work on what is spoiled. And if you get the opportunity, we hope you go back with a bit of enthusiasm. So I can see that as a good mental, spiritual foundation. Do you know what I mean? To have that as a good psychological makeup in your head. Do you know what I mean? To always look at things like that. And then to stand at the centre and try and present it in detail. Try and do something that if you want to talk to people, or you want to present a kind of a thesis that you've come up with to people, you do want to be able to present it in detail. I know it's taking this as like a very simple, basic, the way it's written. Yeah, I mean, presenting detail. I know that, so it probably means a lot more than that. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not anyone or anything. I'm only taking it on the way that my brain works. But I will read all of that surah. I've read it before, but I'll read that surah. But that's how I'm understanding it like this. It's present your case in detail. Do you know what I mean? Present a case that if there's arguments or there's people going to debate it, you've got details to say, well, look, that and that fit, that and that fits. You know what I mean? So I'm just taking it in that way. So I'm happy with that. And then there are a lot of year numbers. Like there's 1943, 1944, and I think these are opening and closing as cycles. There's also a 1611 here. So obviously we know the King James Bible was put out in 1611. I think it's not at an end as such, but it's. I think there's some kind of. It might have to be renewed every now and then, and that might have been like in 1988 or something like that, around there somewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure what all of these year dates are. There's 1944 there, 1948. We know that these are doorways to Israel. Do you know what I mean? The beginning of their reign. So yeah, there's a few dates in there. I haven't got all of them. I'm only going to show the link to the books and like this practice or this process that's at play now for me. So again, we're going back on work at this point now. We're going to work on what's been spoiled. So we're trying to see if we can come to correct understanding with this. It has been not spoiled, but might have been a bit misrepresented or something. You know what I mean? Again, that for me is the tarot in it. Do you know what I mean? The misrepresentation of the tarot as some kind of like child's thing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm happy with that. And then the lay again, that inner box of all the threes, the sixes, and the nines. Do you know what I mean? And then the 4 at the centre in the middle is the emperor. Do you know what I mean? We come in the vein of the emperor. Do you know what I mean? To lay down a process that we know is is worth standing by. I'm the emperor in the middle, putting this that again. If anybody else does this process, you know what I mean, everyone else is in this process, not a problem, you know what I mean. What was that person saying? Please comment, you know what I mean. So I'm sitting as my emperor saying, look, I think I've got this pattern down. It's helping me. I understand where I'm at. Um, yeah, I think I'm on a path for good spiritual growth. Again, I come back to there's no conflict here. So this as a lay, very, and with the amount of connections that I've made numerical in the outcome, it's only expanding. I can see that expanse. Do you know what I mean? Because again, with linking the months that are taken out of the calendar, showing that it's this expansion. We go from a 10-month calendar to a 12-month calendar. I would assume naturally there could be an expansion to a 13 or a 14-month calendar. Do you know what I mean? Again, this has been done before. This is nothing new. And if we're going to come in line with, let's say, the technological revolution, wouldn't it be like kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Wouldn't it be prudent to expand the year cycle to for the year cycle to be longer, i.e., more people you've got more time within the year in line with the technological growth that is now expanding the world even quicker. So even if you used to do that, yeah, that's space to grow into, and the year cycle can still be it still is numerical. Do you know what I mean? I'm saying this can go up to 396 days in a year. That would come in line, I think, with the Saturn cycle more so. Do you know what I mean? That's like a Godhead cycle number, or it could be, yeah, or it could be. You can't just have random ones. It's got to be in line with something. You know what I mean? So another month again, we could go back to the 13-month calendar, 13-moon calendar again. These things have been done, and clearly it's in line with expansion of borders. Do you know what I mean? So is this something to do with and consciousness we know is expanding at this time. If you've been doing your 11/11 homework and trying to get on this path, we know that consciousness is in pure expansion. Can that be reflected in the year cycle? Does that get reflected in the year, in the size of the year cycle? Does that reflect a kind of growth of spiritual borders or consciousness? So I'm really happy with that. I'm pleased with that. I think that's like, and it brings me back, and it keeps me, and we're still in this, and then we've moved as well from the 43 to the 44 and to the 45 and 46 and 47. So again, we can see this kind of numerical pattern that's there. That's, you know what I mean, 16, 17, 18, 19. These numbers are in order. There's no out of order numbers. I keep going back to that, and that shows a kind of bringing to harmony of unseen things, right, have been brought into harmonic grounding and resonance. You know what I mean? So I hope that pattern can be seen in that. And again, this lay, just from the numerical pattern that's come out in this lay, I'm happy. And just from the characters that we can see on this lay, and look at the balance now. So again, that lay before was all very masculine, dominated by the masculine, and just having the moon and the one female on the cup, to now we've got the Queen of Swords, the Empress, the Queen of Cups, the three ladies on the Three of Cups. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 females, and then we've got the Page, the guy on the Nine of Cups, the Emperor, the man on the Six of Pentacles, and the two beggars, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 6. There's 6 female figures and there's 6 male figures in this lay. Do you know what I mean? And that is the balance. That's showing there's a balancing of the masculine and feminine principle, and this is a happy balance, because all of the left side, look, all of that beautiful left side is all female. Queen of Swords, Empress, Queen of Cups. In the middle, it's all masculine. Emperor, the guy sat on the Nine of Cups and the Page. And then on the right side, we've got the Three of Swords, the Heart and the Three of Swords, which is like emotion and mind. The guy on the Six of Pentacles, downside up, but there's three people on there. Do you know what I mean? So that links the three, which is the six, which flips to the three people on the cups, the three ladies on the three ladies on the Three of Cups. So that's three male, three female, three swords. You know what I mean? This is, we're no longer in duality, we're in a trinity. Do you know what I mean? This is what this lay says now. We've moved from dualistic thinking, do you know what I mean? Or dualistic ways of looking at information and looking at the reality, to now being in this trinity. Do you know what I mean? No matter what we're looking at, there must be the added element of spirit. It's got to be this other added element that says we're not just looking at things as just black and white. It's just this and that. It's just up or down. Do you know what I mean? Now we're in a trinity continually. Do you know what I mean? We go from 3 to 6 to 9, then we come back to a 6, then we go to a 9, then we go back to a 6, literally. But in that hidden is the 3, the 6, and it is the number 3. You know what I mean? The Trinity. So that to me, very, very, very positive, pal. And again, the just from the position of the cards, the Emperor in the middle at the bottom. Well, yeah, he's on a stone throne, because this is about foundation. This is foundation work, because the tarot must be made credible. It's not a fairground thing anymore. If the tarot is wrong, so is the religion. It's very simple. If the tarot's some nonsense thing, so is the religion. It can only really be seen that way. Because if I'm doing a tarot and it's leading to your books and showing me where to read in your books, either the tarot's nonsense. If the tarot's nonsense, the book's nonsense. If the tarot's correct and it's leading to a book that's correct, then it's all correct. But you can't have something that's nonsense linking to something that's supposed to not be nonsense, and that's correct, but that ain't. That doesn't make any sense. That cannot make any sense. One should not support the other. There should be a separation. This is better than that. That's better than this. This is more important than that. That's more important than this. But that can't be the case. You can't read this correctly without this. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you cannot read this book correctly without this. The same way as you can't read this book correctly, and you can't be reading that book correctly without the key. Because again, we come back to, this ain't for just like pick it up, from the right and read it to the left from front to back. Well, for a start, if you're doing that, you've already messed up, in you, really. If you're going to do that, like if you're doing that, yeah, you've clearly messed up already, because you're not grasping that particular book shouldn't really be read like that. They might have to be read from left to right, not right to left. Do you know what I mean? So that's automatically going to throw you off. So I say this is a key that's valuable. So like, yeah, I've gone on, but like I am really pleased with that. I'm pleased that and again, the maths is flawless. You know what I mean? Like you cannot get away from the math not being flawless, mate. It's absolutely on point, man. And that must show for something. It's got to. You know what I mean? So, and then, yeah. So like, and then that key with yeah, I'm happy with that. So thank you for listening. I'm saying please have a look at the I Ching, have a look at the Quran, and follow the link and do the work. We're doing the work. So nice one. Please subscribe. I don't know if these are going out because obviously Is I mean, we need some comments and that, and please make a comment, man. If you think this is just utter madness and that, and like we've gone off a bit, and we need to get put back on the reservation, do you know what I mean? Come on, like, but some comments and just to say, like, come on, what are you doing? Yeah, so that'd be well appreciated, and until the next one, we'll do another one.